Hey everyone, it's Sam, and thank you to everybody who joined me on the live stream on Facebook on Monday for some of the astrological forecast this week. We've got some pretty gnarly transits happening with Mars, the North Node, and Uranus conjoining, as well as the new moon in Leo and some other aspects that I have linked below and time-stamped. If you're not already following Facebook and Instagram for the daily forecast, make sure to join that discussion. And here is the rest of the video kind of summarizing the week ahead as we discuss some of these more difficult transits, what they mean, and hopefully prepare you for the energies that are to come. Enjoy, and if you liked it, comment below, and we will continue to do this every Sunday. So let's go over everything one more time. So as we look forward into the week ahead, when we look at Monday the 25th, we start off with the moon still in Gemini, making a trine to Saturn early in the morning, which will help us to reorganize our thoughts. We have two squares on Monday. We have Venus in Cancer making a square to Jupiter in Aries early in the morning, which will disrupt sleep. And then we have the moon in Gemini squaring Neptune in Pisces, which will also disrupt sleep. For those of you that have a different time frame, that may affect your early morning a little bit. Neptune is normally a planet that rules sleep, but at its worst can cause confusion, like getting to work an hour early or an hour late. Just the boundaries of time and routine start to slip when Neptune's squares start to happen. Then the moon goes void of course, which means that the moon will no longer have a pull on the body or the self. And that creates a lot of free reign for us for the rest of the morning. So after we have some slip and slide action in the early morning, then the moon moves into void of course and then Cancer. And this finishes out our Monday, which I love because Monday is the moon's day. So when the moon moves into Cancer, her home sign, on her day, we have a really nice healing opportunity for just some family stuff, some emotional stuff, and tapping into a lot of the watery intuition of that sign. Tuesday is very different. We have two strong squares, and it's not going to be super great. As we look at Tuesday, so we have the moon in Cancer making a square to Jupiter in Aries, and then in the afternoon, we have Mercury squaring Mars in Taurus. So the moon will get really flared up first thing, and then the mind will also get flared up throughout the day. The moon will conjoin Venus in Cancer at 10:53 a.m. So that will be nice for Tuesday, but it's in between these really strong squares. So temperatures will go from really hot to fine to really hot, and it's just going to be a really roller coaster type day. And I don't enjoy that energy so much, if I'm being honest. But that's Tuesday. Wednesday, we have a nice sextile. We have the trine to the North Node in the South Node in Scorpio at 5:39 a.m. So waking up, we immediately hit our point of purging. The South Node asks us to let things go, to vent our feelings, to allow our heart to empty, our cups to empty, kind of feeling a little bit more withdrawn on Wednesday morning. And then as we move into the rest of the day, Jupiter stations in Aries. So Jupiter has been in Aries since the beginning of kind of summertime and will stay retrograde until about just before Thanksgiving. Which is around November 24th, I believe is the date that it goes direct. So Jupiter, who was feeling his oats in Pisces earlier in the year, as we moved through January into April, went into the fire sign of Aries. We started seeing a lot of aggression. We started seeing a lot of power plays. We started seeing a lot of politics and religion and law stuff, all things that Jupiter rules, getting very heated, very flamboyant, very divisive, very independent. And so now Jupiter is starting to regret those decisions, starting to backtrack on those decisions, starting to repeal a lot of those decisions. And the forward charge of Aries is starting to slip back. Then the moon will trine Neptune just to kind of calm us, soothe us, as opposed to the Neptune square before we now have a really nice trine, which will give us some soothing, healing, and maybe even a later cat nap. The moon in Cancer opposes Pluto in the evening on Wednesday, which will bring us into a lot of nostalgia, a lot of reliving the past, a lot of remembering, a lot of kind of spending time with those who have gone before us and connecting to our roots. And then the moon goes void, of course, giving us another kind of decompression time overnight, so sleep will not be as disrupted in the early evening. Thursday, for those of you who have been sensitive to the fire signs this weekend, the moon will move into Leo, preparing for our new moon in Leo at 1:53 p.m. on Thursday. These are all in Eastern Standard Times, by the way. So we have the new moon in Leo. We have this opportunity for emotional newness, although it's a little bit more extroverted, a little bit more about the glitz, the glam, the outward persona, and being recognized for your strength, your power, your sovereignty, and what that means to you. We do have Mercury squaring Uranus on Thursday, which is going to be an upheaval to the mind, which will be the first of many. We've seen Mercury making a couple squares already this week. The mind is not going to be stable this week. People will be out of their minds this week as thoughts are challenged, as patterns are broken, as the mind starts to question who it is, how it operates, and what is actually correct. Yeah. And just to kind of top it all off, the moon will trine Jupiter in Aries to bring some heat, some combustion. Again, every time we touch that Jupiter, it's just going to give us another wave of passion, independence, the need to do things your way, on your terms. And then let's just go ahead and take a peek. Sorry, I haven't been fast forwarding. The Thursday square between the nodes. I need to redo that time. Yep, so I'll just flag that. Redo that time, and we'll redo that time, and I will fix those for the forecast, which if you're not already following the daily forecast on Facebook and Instagram, go ahead and give that a follow. As we move into Friday, this is where we have probably the worst day of the week. Friday is not going to be kind. It's going to be very full of tension. We start off at 11:37 a.m. The moon will square Mars, then it will square Uranus, and then it will square the nodes, which is in preparation for Monday's aspect on August 1st, where Mars conjoins both the North Node and Uranus in Taurus. So this is where the friction is building. This is where the pressure underneath the volcano is starting to bubble and to boil and to pressurize our heart space. What I find really interesting is on Friday, at the same time as the moon squares the nodes, Jupiter retrogrades in Aries. So Jupiter retrogrades in Aries a couple of days after it stations, and will continue to retrograde and will only be free of retrograde through the majority of November 24th, right? So at this time, it's almost as if the heart is starting to regret the hyper-independent decisions that have been made, and reevaluate those decisions, which I think is very necessary. Because a lot of people have been acting independent of the greater good, and we need to put them in their place just a little bit, right? We can all agree on that. As we move into Saturday, Saturday is going to be one of our low-key days of the week. The moon will oppose Saturn early and then go void, of course, until halfway through the day when she moves into Virgo, which will be a really nice cleanup day. It'll be a really nice day to just kind of take things slow, release expectations, not focus on really getting things done until halfway through the day. So a really nice lazy start to the Saturday, and then just kind of filling in the blanks, getting the details sorted out on Saturday afternoon. So Sunday we have Mercury opposing Saturn, the mind continuing to cook, continuing to contemplate, continuing to wrestle with a lot of these concepts of what it means to exist and exist in a sustainable way. And here we see the beginning of our major transits on Monday. Uranus will conjoin the North Node. Oh, let's go ahead and flip to Sunday. Uranus will conjoin the North Node. We can see that Mars, Uranus, and the North Node are all in Taurus, really, really close to each other. And on Sunday at 2:23, Uranus will conjoin the North Node. And the North Node is our point of focus towards the future and understanding the road that is paved before us. And Uranus is the planet of upheaval and change and natural disasters and breakthroughs and breakdowns and breakups and finding everything that is solid, that is stable, that is predictable, and shaking it up. And so here we see the beginning of this dishevelment, this constructive dishevelment or destructive dishevelment that will eventually allow us to break free from very rigid patterns. And of course, we need some heat, some explosions to do this. And so the sun will trine Jupiter in fire signs, giving us a really, really strong, fiery burst of passion throughout the day. And finally, the moon will sextile Venus in Cancer just to give us a little cherry on top and provide some healing from those aspects. But Monday is the star of the show. So next Monday on August 1st, this is actually the reason why I wanted to do this live stream. And if you like it, we can do it again next Sunday. And I'll kind of snip this down to a better video for YouTube as well. But on Monday, the moon in Virgo will start to trine all of the activity in Taurus. So we have the Mars North Node and Uranus conjunction that's happening Sunday to Monday, reevaluating our path forward. I think that this will have financial implications with the stock market. I think that our idea of cash, because Taurus talks about sustainable value and possession and what we own and what is underneath our feet and the roof over our heads, right? What we own as property being shaken up and understood in radical ways. However, the moon in Virgo making a trine to all of these placements and coming through and just basically saying like, okay, yes, things are exploding, things are rearranging, things are starting to get out of hand, but how do we bring them back in hand? How do we reshuffle the deck? How do we start to take things that have been destroyed and reform them in a healthy way? And this all occurs as Mars conjoins Uranus at 7:31 p.m. on Monday. Now, thankfully, on Tuesday, Venus will swing through from Cancer and make really strong sextiles to all of the 18-degree placements in Taurus, bringing healing, bringing kind of an energetic balm to the situation. But this is kind of the reason why I wanted to do the live stream, was to prepare everybody for the week ahead, because it will be a tougher one. It will have a lot more squares, a lot more friction, a lot more indecision, a lot more mental compromise. And we're going to see continued waves of that fire, that heat, that passion, helping us to break things down, but also burning things up and things continuing to get out of hand as Jupiter retrogrades and realizes that it's done things that have been too brash, too passionate, too fiery, too independent, and begins its retrograde journey back into Pisces, which will be absolutely lovely. So yeah, I think that it'll be great. I think that it'll be really fun to see how this plays out, although from an astrological perspective, there are some gnarly aspects here. Let me know throughout the week how this comes through for you. And as always, tune in on Facebook and Instagram for the daily forecasts, because we'll be looking at these day to day, and I'll be giving my thoughts on these transits, but I wanted to give you a video to walk through all these together before the major aspects come forward on Sunday and Monday. I'll be taking this video and hopefully editing it and throwing a kind of cleaner version up on YouTube. And yeah, that is pretty much it for the live stream. And if you liked it, definitely keep interacting and sharing with the page, and we'll see you at the start of next week with the forecast. Bye.